Just over a month ago, on January 3rd, hopes are riding high for the Seton Hall men's basketball team after back-to-back wins over top 15 ranked opponents. Now the Pirates are at an all-time low, searching for their first victory since January 31st. Losers of 6 in a row and coming off a three-game road trip, the Hall could not be more eager to return to the Prudential Center against a familiar opponent in Creighton, where Sterling Gibbs' late-game heroics guided the Pirates to victory. This time around, no Gibbs, so who do the Pirates turn to in their leading scorer's absence? Then flip the script to the women's team. Boasting a 24-4 record with just one loss coming at home, Tony Bazzella's crew takes to the road to finish the season at Xavier and Butler, controlling their own destiny to end this year with the Big East crown. And finally, the men's swimming and diving team made program history happen during the Big East Championships, twice in the span of 3 days. Leaving Ithaca with some serious hardware, the men's team found success ranging from senior Ben Mitchell dominating the diving boards to freshman Matt Zabrowski controlling the swimming lanes. We cover all this and more here on Hall Talk.
This team needs to show me something for me to believe that they're going to make a run in the tournament.
I think they can have a chance of going over 35 wins without a problem.
Just stepping up from the 4 points to the 17. She's just dropping threes like there's no tomorrow.
But chemistry is an underrated key in college basketball.
That was by far the best game I've seen them play.
This is Hall Talk, and that's how the chalk talks. Welcome back to our Pirate Television studios. I'm your host, George Balekji, and I'm joined alongside my panel today. You recognize him all the time. You see him right here on Hall Talk, Aaron Ross. And from WSOU, and you're becoming a frequent face on this panel, Anthony Paolo. Gentlemen, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing just grand tonight, baby.
I'm doing well, and it's good to be back on the show.
All right, so we bring it in first talking about the men's basketball team. Like I mentioned before, they lost at home at Georgetown on a 6-game losing streak. Currently, 3-game road trip. They went to some of the toughest venues in the Big East, at Providence, at Villanova, at St. John's, and couldn't find a win there. Now they come home to Creighton. Last time they played, Sterling Gibbs hit a go-ahead three-pointer with 2 seconds remaining. This time around, he's serving his second game in that suspension. Who do the Pirates have to turn to? Aaron, I'll start with you. In the absence of their leading scorer.
Now, I'm going to say Isaiah Whitehead. You know, he scored 15-plus in 3 straight games, but that doesn't show. His shooting, overall, it's been off. His field goal percentage is definitely low. I think he needs to step his game up, especially because he's been having a lot of turnovers lately. So I think he is the #1 guy we got to look forward to, because Angel Delgado, he's been consistent as hell lately. So keep it going.
And Anthony, for you?
I don't know, Aaron. I think I have to disagree with you when you say that Isaiah Whitehead is the one that needs to step up. In that last game against St. John's, he scored 19 points, which I think is pretty impressive. The one I think that needs to step up is Brandon Mobley. The last game against St. John's, he only had 7 points and he had 3 rebounds, whereas you look at a guy like Angel Delgado, he's getting double digits in rebounds even during this 6-game losing streak. So they need another big man to step in, and we need to look at the senior, Brandon Mobley, to lead this team, especially with Sterling Gibbs out. Not only for him to go on the scoreboard, but also to provide some leadership. And I think Mobley is the perfect person to step up and take control of this team.
Now you look at the Creighton Blue Jays, they have a 2-headed monster. Of course, Austin Chapman, the only starter from last year's squad, leading the team in scoring 10 points per game, and Will Artino down in the paint, leading in field goal percentage. But last time when they went to Omaha, Chapman wasn't the name that was being rung, went out with an injury. James Milliken took over for the Blue Jays, 20 points, 8 of 16 scoring. He would have been the talk for the night, and if not for that Gibbs three-pointer. Who defensively is going to have to tone in, take him on, and slow him down along with Austin Chapman?
You know, I got to look at Kadeem Carrington here. You know, his shot's been on a little bit lately, but defensively, he has been one of the best freshmen I've seen step it up lately. Both sides of the court, but defensively, he gets active with his hands. I like how he's playing. I need him running up and down the court, getting after him.
I don't know, I think Isaiah Whitehead, you said it before, and who needs to step up? I think out of all the defensive players, Isaiah Whitehead is very underrated for his defensive capabilities. You look at him making those 3-point shots or passing the ball very well, but one thing that's very underrated is that he can get his hands in the passing lanes and also disrupt some shots. So I think that he's also a player to turn to when it comes to the defensive effort.
Now you look at this, you want to take the games 1 game at a time. 2 home games is how they're rounding off their time at the Rock. Of course, against Creighton, the next up against Providence. If they don't get the win against the Blue Jays, who are they going to have to take care of when it comes to the Friars?
It's going to be tough. You know, they got to take care of, obviously, what's fit. Henton, the man's all over the place, so that's the #1 guy you got to look for when you play against the Friars. There's no other words to say it. It's him.
Anthony?
Yeah, I mean, well, not only that, they also have a game on the road at Georgetown. That's another game that they can take advantage of. They played them last time at home. It didn't really go out too well, but I think that the second time around, especially with Gibbs coming back, it can be a different story. Try to snatch a road win, have each team exchange road wins, and try to finish the season on a strong note.
Exactly like you says. You got Sterling coming back for those games, which is obviously great to hear because he's leading scorer all year, and he's definitely a leader on the team, upperclassman. So, maybe that'll spark him a little bit. But I'll tell you, Providence is going to be a tough game. Georgetown, they're up and down the season, in and out of the rankings. They're going to be tough as well, especially in their house down in D.C.
And of course, the men's team, they tip off at 4 o'clock in the Rock against Creighton. WSOU will have all the coverage. 4 o'clock is tip-off. Coverage begins at 3:45. John Fanta and Sean St. Jacques will be on the call there for 89.5 FM. Now we mentioned the women's team earlier. Hot as ever, just 4 losses on the year. 3 of those 4 losses coming on the road. They control their own destiny, that they could walk away as co-Big East championships with DePaul for the title, regular season title. Right. But they have to finish off on the road. And last time they went to the Midwest, they came back with a 1-1 record. They're at Xavier on Friday night, then they go at Butler Sunday afternoon. What's the difference that the women's team has to do here?
See, I don't think they really have to change anything in their game. It's just the only one thing, they tend to come out a little bit slow. It takes them a little bit to get going shooting-wise. But if they can pick up the heat early, get it going, they are lights out. When that team gets their shot on, they are unstoppable. Because now with Janae Johnson and her shot, it's incredible. We had Tab Richardson-Smith. You got both the Simmons out there. And then you throw Johnson in there. I don't know how you can stop a team that shoots like that. And
Anthony, you were high on Janae Johnson just last time you were on this show. Of course, coming into this season, she made only 3 3-pointers throughout her whole career. This year, shooting 39% from long range. She's really changed her game. How do you see her taking over?
Well, she's second on the team now with 45 3-pointers. And last time I was on the show, I think it was 26. So it really shows how she's been lighting it up from beyond the arc. And that's something that she just needs to continue doing. And as Aaron pointed out, too, they just have to make sure they don't have a slow start because they beat both of these teams. They're very capable of pulling off wins on the road. They've proven to be a good road team. They had that minor setback against Marquette. I'm sure that's a game that they've put behind them. I think that Coach Bozzella even had a dodgeball session in one of the practices. So it really shows how they're a tight-knit group and how they try to keep a light mood.
Now, we don't want to get too excited here, but we'll peek ahead a little bit. They look down to the Big East tournament, and what I always say, when you want to find a tournament team that gets successful, they have experience. 3 grad students, a senior and a junior in the starting lineup for them. They play offense well. Of course, 3 of the top 7 scorers in the Big East make up that lineup. But what you don't always hear about is their defense. And when you look at the clips, when they played Georgetown and Walsh, at one point, the Hoyas were just lucky to get past half court with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you got Tabitha Richardson-Smith. Her arm, she's lanky out there. She's got a wingspan of an eagle, I tell you, man. You watch her out there, someone trying to do a cross-court pass, she's in that zone, pickpocket, she's down. Gone. The Simmons, the same thing. They're grabbing, pickpocketing everything. It's not just picking off passes. They're just swiping it right from people dribbling. Like you say, they were lucky to get past half court the majority of the time.
And you look at some of the wins the teams have had recently. A 1-point win at DePaul came off a Dee Simmons go-ahead layup. 2-point win, 64-67 over Nova, came off a Daisha go-ahead layup. So this team, Anthony, they have all the senior experience you need, and there's no trouble when it comes to late-game shots for them.
Oh, no, absolutely not. You see both Simmons coming up clutch with late-game baskets, which is just crucial. But we also have to remember, guys, defense is a big part of it. You guys mentioned the full court press. You also have another senior that's very seldom talked about, and that's Chizoba Ekedigwe. She's one of the taller players on the team. And with the absence of Brashay Ali, Chizoba is now the leading shot blocker of the team with 20 blocks. And even then, if you count Brashay Ali in there, she only had 21. So she's really proven to be a great asset on the court defensively, which will be huge in these last 2 games.
All right, so we took this conversation past our panel. This week, Bryant McInerney went to campus and got some of the students' opinions on what they think about this season's women's basketball team and who they have to turn to when it comes to the Big East tournament.
Thanks, guys. Bryant McInerney here. I'm just going around asking Pirate fans what they feel the Seton Hall women's basketball team's chances are for the rest of the way. Who do you think will have the ball in a do-or-die situation for the Seton Hall women's basketball team?
I think it'd be Khadijah Simmons. She's one of the best ball handlers the team has.
Oh, definitely Tabitha Richardson-Smith. So she's got a shot like no other.
Khadijah Simmons.
Khadijah Simmons. Tabitha Richardson.
We'll give it to Richardson-Smith.
I'm going to go with Khadijah Simmons because she's really clutch.
What do you think the chances are for the women's basketball team to win in the Big East tournament this year?
I think they have a really great shot.
Well, that's obvious. I think we're definitely going to win this year.
Definitely this year. I think they have the chance to get it. I really think they're going to win everything, honestly.
The strongest, most experienced team in that conference.
60% of winning the Big East tournament, actually.
How far do you think we're going to go in March Madness this year?
To be honest, I think the Sweet 16, hopefully.
I think they might win it all.
I think they're going to go to like the second or third round.
Sweet 16?
I think definitely they can get past the first round, if not maybe the Sweet 16.
Honestly, I have a lot of faith in this team because like we play really tough. We're going to be really hard to beat no matter where we play at or who we play.
Looks like the fans have a lot of faith in this team for the upcoming tournaments. Tune into Hall Talk for all your Seton Hall sports updates. Back to you guys at the studio.
You see the great reaction there from the students on campus, and they're taking notice of the successful women's team. December 30th, when they originally played Butler, attendance in Walsh was just 574 people. Most recently, their last home game versus Nova topped 1,000. So guys, the fans, the students are taking notice, and a lot of them, they're heavy on Dee Simmons. What do you think about that when Brian was catching up with them?
I'm a fan of her. I mean, she's the heart of the team. I don't know how you can't be a fan of Dee. Come on.
Anthony?
Yeah, you know, for someone that's small, I too am vertically challenged. Love to see her utilize her speed and agility, and she's able to draw fouls and go to the foul line. That's been her bread and butter for as long as I've been broadcasting, for 3 years now. And it's really just good to watch her run the offense like that.
She weaves through like nothing, man.
That's for sure. Now you go across from Walsh Gymnasium right across to Arthur E. Per Natorium. Sorry, catching up there. And you go to a successful men's swimming and diving team. Ben Mitchell is a leader from the diving board, as a senior earning gold in the Big East Championships, and Noah Yanchulis as well getting gold. And they're not alone. James Logan, Matt Zabrowski, those are names to be mentioned. Your guys, very successful weekend by the men's swim and dive team. Who is your MVP from the Big East tournament?
You see, I had a tough decision between this one. I was thinking Zabrowski, he's a freshman winning gold. That's something to speak for itself, but I have to go with James Logan, the senior. He started off as a freshman in the Big East. He came in 21st overall. Now, this year as a senior and last year as a junior, getting gold in the 200-meter breaststroke both years. Finished in with a 2-minute 3 seconds at .31. He's been incredible. Back-to-back gold. Come on.
And Anthony?
I would have to go with Noah Yanchulis. Back when I would go to the town swimming pool, I couldn't even swim like 50 meters without having to get the lifeguard pull me out. So this guy swims 200 meters freestyle in 1:39.58 seconds to get him that gold medal in the freestyle. I think only the second person in the program to take home an event in a freestyle. He also led the Pirates to good placings in the 400-meter freestyle and the 800 freestyle relay. So, just watching him do well has just really been a testament to the swimming team's success.
Certainly that hair does you no favor in the pool, I bet, Anthony. All right, so this brings us to our Athlete of the Week, one of our favorite segments here at Hall Talk. Last time, we handed out this award to Zohar Suslovic, who took home the honors. Well, this week, we stay in the pool and flip to the women's side. Gabby Signorelli dominated the diving boards in the Big East Championships as she garnered a gold medal to add on to her career, making her the third four-time Big East champion in school history. The junior from Massapequa blew away the competition with a total score of 536, which was 55 points better than the next runner-up. This performance was followed by a gold medal effort from the 3-meter boards on Thursday night, and the conference took notice of her individual efforts. Signorelli was also awarded the Big East Most Outstanding Female Diver Award, which she also received as a sophomore during last year's championships. And if you think the job is done, Gabby will have her own dosage of madness when she will represent Seton Hall at the NCAA Zone A Diving Championships coming up in March. Congrats to Gabby Signorelli as she collects another award and is this year's Athlete of the Week. All right, gentlemen, so before we go out, any last words?
No, I got to give a shout-out to Coach Pete DeNoble, Men's and Women's Diving Coach of the Year. Shout out to him, man. That's incredible.
Let's just hope that they can get a win on Saturday, rather. The Seton Hall men's basketball team try to end this 6-game losing streak, and I've seen a couple of the Pirates on campus, and they are really hungry to end this losing streak.
All right, and for my last piece, I'd like to point to what the Seton Hall women's team is looking for to get noticed, and that certainly is Coach Bozzella earning his stripes, taking on Andy Landers of Georgia, defeating him, and he has over 800 career wins. Harry Petretta, defeating him twice from Villanova, has over 600 career wins, along with Doug Bruno of DePaul. All big names on the coaching surface throughout women's Division I basketball. Coach Bozzella is making himself a household name as well. I'm George Balekji, Aaron Ross, Anthony DePaolo. Guys, thank you very much for joining me.
Always a great time.
Thank you.
You can catch all the coverage of this weekend's games, of course, on 89.5 FM WSOU, and catch all the recap of them as well on Seton Hall Pirate Television on our YouTube channel and Facebook. For George Balekji, I'm signing off. This is Hall Talk.